as you guys know, Shoe-on-Head has released another video, and obviously I feel like watching it. So today we're gonna go ahead and watch the video titled The Male Loser Epidemic. Now, I happen to not be a loser, but I will admit there are a lot of men out there who are kind of, you know, going off the deep end right now. So like, let's just watch this video. Let's figure out what she thinks the male loser epidemic is, and let's figure it out.
Hello again, friends. Sorry I've been gone for quite a bit.
Okay.
Hopefully nothing too crazy happened.
I feel like she uploads like
every time
literally
I take a break,
every like
a war
3 months.
breaks out or something, but
oh god,
thankfully that did not happen. But at least
very
we found out
molars.
the real Epstein files were the friends we made along the way.
Dear
Welcome
God, she's like literally starting off insanely strong with this list, dude. What the?
To the Shoe-on-Head channel. If it is your first time here,
Yes.
run. I am Shoe-on-Head, and on this
What are we
channel
running away
I
from?
like to cover cultural issues mostly surrounding men's issues. It's what I've been doing for over a decade, and frankly, I'm exhausted. Many of you have been along for the ride, and you have seen—
Dude, Shoe-on-Head single-handedly, first of all, what is this image? Secondly, has she ever upgraded her camera? And third, like, has it been 10 years of her like genuinely doing, I don't even know what I'd call her content. Is she like, I guess like doing male validation of sorts? Like she's sitting here saying, hey guys, as men, you're kind of cool. And honestly, that's kind of the whole reason I started watching it, to be fair.
We go from a chipper, lively 24-year-old making fun of BuzzFeed and Tumblr feminists to a bitter, calloused 34-year-old talking about very real and growing men's issues.
Is she 34?
One of the main men's issues I have been covering in great detail lately has been the male loneliness epidemic. Yeah, but
Yes.
Turns out I was wrong. We don't have a male loneliness epidemic. We have a male loser epidemic. It's not a male loneliness epidemic. No, it's a male mediocrity epidemic. It's a male loser epidemic.
Okay, realistically, I don't think that there is probably a male loneliness epidemic. I think realistically there is a male loser epidemic, now that I think about it. Because like, if I think of myself in terms of standards for men, I'm kind of mid. Let's just be real, chat. All right. I don't even know why you're watching this video, but I will say that like my mid-tier level is still significantly better than the average male. So honestly, I would think that like it kind of sucks out there if you're someone looking to date a man, because realistically, most of them won't be as mid as me. They'll be infinitely worse.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point.
Off to a great
Now,
start
I
here.
don't always talk about men's issues. No,
Yeah.
Sometimes I talk about politics, and sometimes I mix the two together. Now, I know a
God.
lot of you don't like politics. You don't care about politics. But politics cares about you, and it will enter your life no matter how hard you try to avoid it. But thankfully, I have the perfect app to help you navigate this difficult, confusing political landscape.
I'm literally skipping her sponsor again, and I don't feel bad because I'm going to insert my own sponsor if I remember, which is GamerSupps. Just use code TALL. That's it. That's the whole sponsor.
Thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad.
We're just going to pretend like that didn't happen.
Right. Now, let's get back to the video. With all these issues men are facing, they seem to be moving to the right and the Republicans more, since the left and Democrats have essentially just become the young men eat and die movement. Months ago, I covered how the Democratic Party was losing young men, and I predicted Kamala Harris would lose in part because of young men overwhelmingly voting for Trump. And I was correct. Well, now the Democrats have unveiled their final solution to the right-wing male loser epidemic. Democrats spending millions to learn how to speak to American men and win back the working class. Democrats have blown millions of dollars on efforts to appeal to American men who turned to President Donald Trump in droves on Election Day in hopes of winning back the working class. Democrats have spent $20 million on their efforts, with donors and strategists holing up in luxury hotel rooms, brainstorming how to convince working class men to return to the party. Ah yes, nothing more relatable to working class men than luxury hotel rooms.
I'm sorry, $20 million just to figure out how to talk to men? I could have told you that in like 5 minutes.
Great job, guys. The plan? Codename SAM, or Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan.
Oh,
Promises
gosh.
to use the funds to study the syntax, language, and content that gains attention and virality in these spaces.
What
the effort
syntax
also
is
recommends
there?
Democrats buy advertisement in video games, among other things.
I feel like if you advertised in video games, men would hate you more. Like, I feel like actually anyone would hate you more because no one wants ads in video games. I feel like that's like the thing that everyone could agree on is that we all just don't like ads, right? If you got an ad in this video, just know that I love you because you help pay my rent.
The Democratic Party is treating young men like exotic animals they're studying. Now, as you can see here is the young man in his natural habitat, in a dark, messy cave surrounded by Taco Bell wrappers and empty Mountain Dew bottles. Here is another young man, as you can see, also dwelling in a dark cave.
Destiny.
This one has dyed his hair blue to scare off potential predators. Unfortunately, it also scares off potential mates. But moving on, here is another young man. We think we're not quite sure about this one. We're still studying it. Listen, Democrats, instead of spending $20 million to do that stupid, maybe you should, I don't know, actually listen to men. I listen to men for free all the time. All I have to do is read my comment section. Let's see here. Shoe on Head is a perfect example of why we need to repeal the 19th. Greetings from Albania. I hate women so much, it's unreal. Ooh,
what was the 19th?
Mommy, milkies, mommy.
This is the most covered up woman I've ever seen in any video, and your focus is still on her tits. That's crazy.
One time I got my penis stuck in a soda bottle. Okay, on second thought, maybe my comment section is not the best source.
Since Trump scored big with young male voters last election, Democrats are spending $20 million to learn how to speak their language. I think it's a waste of money. Maybe these guys should spend their money on teaching men to not be such sexists. Maybe that's it.
But the stats don't bear that out now.
Whoa! What did men do?
Young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim.
Okay.
Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna speak for all men when I say this. Rent is expensive and mom's house is free. All right, I'll just say it. We're all thinking it, right? We are all thinking it.
Oh no. The very night I was sitting on my couch writing the script to my video about how the Democrats are spending $20 million to relate to young men, this came on my TV on Fox News. A Tommy Lahren and Laura Ingraham segment about stay-at-home sons, men who still live at home. Literally minutes after this aired, it went absolutely viral on Twitter for not good reasons. So we are going to unpack this piece by piece. Because even though everyone was mocking it and making fun of it, as far as I saw, nobody was really dissecting it and breaking down exactly why she was so egregiously wrong. So come
No, I agree with you, Chad. All they gotta do is lower rent.
Male loser epidemic. Because who else better equipped to talk about men's issues than two stupid blonde bimbos? Hold on one second.
That's crazy. I wasn't.
Three stupid blonde bimbos. Sorry.
Okay, this is where we're going.
I felt left out. All right, let's go. Wait. I need my gamer fuel.
It's a nice wig. That's a very nice wig.
I do drink it. That one's for you, Tectone.
It's a major problem. And you know, Speaker Johnson has been talking about the...
Is she just like naming every single like right-wing political grifter on the internet right now? Like, is that her whole thing? Am I a right-wing political grifter for reacting to this video? I don't think I am.
Those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. But Laura, I gotta tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married.
What does that even mean?
They want to have kids.
The
they want to have
feminization
stable
of men?
families.
What?
But there are a lot of young...
Wait, pause. Is me wearing a pink shirt feminization of men? I just like the color pink. Leave me alone.
Men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates and a lot of other problems in society. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people in real life. Let's just get back to basics.
So first of all, this stay-at-home son thing is not a real thing. It was a random throwaway, self-deprecating joke some contestant on Jeopardy said. One guy, because I guess there's nothing else important going on that they could cover on the news. They literally made this into a fake phenomena so they can on young men. Meanwhile, Democrats are spending millions of dollars trying to win back young men. Oh no, the young men are leaving us in droves. How do we get them back?
Well, I love her piercing.
I got this. Hey, you fat, lazy, Cheeto dust-covered slobs. You. Nice. Thanks. I love you.
You know, honestly, at this rate, why don't the men just start their own political party? Hear me out, men, fellas, come here. All right. You know, if we all collectively have women hating us, right? Why don't we all just form the Men's United Coalition, or MUC? I mean, we could call it the Coalition of United Men, which is cum. And I think that sounds a lot better. So like, regardless, like I feel like if we form that and then we always elect and vote for other men that we think are cool, honestly, we might win.
I love you too. Is the amount of young men living home with their parents increasing? Yes. Is it because they're lazy bums and just want to order DoorDash all day? No. And also, they're not paying for DoorDash, Tommy. They're financing it. Come on.
Oh, that's terrible. Wait, pause. Is that a real thing? Can you finance DoorDash now? Are you guys paying for DoorDash in 4 easy payments on Klarna? What the hell?
A lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air.
Have either of you tried applying for a job as a young man recently? Or tried buying a house on the salary of one of these young men? Have you experienced the dating market, been on the dating sites as a young man? No? Interesting, okay.
Ooh, yeah, no, dating sites as a man sucks, bro.
The average age of a Fox News viewer is like 70 nowadays, and you need to pander to them. But Tommy, you were like 2 years younger than me. You know this shit isn't true. Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like a f***ing boomer? I'm sorry, I have no other word for this, but I hate this like generational pick-me. I was born in the wrong generation. I'm not like those other young people. And you know what? She's not like those other young people. Not all young people can afford a nice nose job and lip filler and get a cushy job on Fox News.
Oh, damn. Okay, relax. Oh, why are we attacking her?
The main problem with this brain-dead boomer-ass take.
What did she do to her to deserve that? I mean, granted, she is a host on Fox News, so, you know, I kind of get it, right? I mean, we're all not really fans of Fox News, or maybe you are. Maybe you are. I'm not. I'll just be honest. So, yeah, she clearly hates her.
Not only is it cringe, but it's completely divorced from reality. This slop is specifically designed for people who paid like $5 for a f***ing house. And listen, not all boomers, okay? My parents are boomers. They are lovely people. A lot of you guys are boomers. But when the baby boomer generation sends its people, it is not sending their best. They are not sending you. They're sending people who have lots of problems. They're bringing the housing crisis. They're bringing wage stagnation. They're falling for AI-generated photos on Facebook. But some, I assume, are good people.
I would also assume that some of them are good people, but I will also say whoever's falling for the AI-generated crap on Facebook, like, what are you doing, dog? Why are we still using Facebook? I got banned on Facebook. It's not a here and there, but like, just, you know, if I had a choice, I probably wouldn't be on the app anymore. It's kind of like how I don't use Instagram anymore. I mean, I scroll on Instagram and I record stuff on Instagram for videos, but like, that's not the same as using it actively, you know what I'm saying?
But my God, I truly believe they do not understand how good they had it. They could support a family on a single income from a job that didn't require a college degree. Their leaders didn't prostitute away their economic future for some cheap plastic shit from China. They inherited the greatest economy known to man, and they pretend it's a paradise that they earned. I just don't understand, like, why don't boomers and spiritual boomers like Tommy Lauren see people struggling and go, wow, I wish I could fix this. They should have it better than I had it. And you wonder why so many millennials and zoomers don't want kids. I want to make the world a better place for my children. I want to make the world a better place for my children. Ugh. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you spoiled brat. Children. Not happening. Well,
yeah, no, realistically, that's actually just how it is, right? Like, I don't understand why the generation, like, before us millennials, because I'm gonna say it, all right, you know, us millennials, we kind of gave up too, and we're part of the problem. But like, the reason we gave up, and the reason Gen Z is also giving up, is because, let's be real, the economy is kind of just so fucked that there's just no point anymore, right? Right now, all I'm worried about is myself. I'm gonna be real, and just, you know, anything else outside of that doesn't really affect or bother me. I've kind of become a very cynical person in that regard, though, and it's not really a good thing. I would say. But like, you know, I'm just worried about me, my people, nobody else. You know, I'm hoping for the best, but realistically, I'm not doing anything to try to help the best happen. So like, am I a part of the problem? Yes, but I did not create this problem, and I do not feel the need to solve the problem. Okay, that was another generation's job. So Gen Z, good luck is what I'm saying.
What young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Young men are becoming lazy because they're becoming feminized. So they're becoming
What does that even
lazy
mean?
because they act more like women? What did she mean by this, chat? I know there's like a decrease in testosterone or something happening, but men are moving right-wing all over the world. Does that correlate with the feminization? Or, I mean, there are suspiciously a lot of far-right femboys, so maybe. But here's...
You know, what happens if the world just goes completely far right to the point where we take away women's rights again? I don't want that, obviously, but I'm just saying, what do we do then? Because realistically, I would be one of those guys that would fight for women's rights, but I don't think I'd win in this world. Like, I feel like somehow, some way, like I'd be on the freaking, like, you know, firing line, right? Like they'd have a gun to the back of my head saying, denounce women's rights right now or we're ending your life. And like, I'm gonna be real with you, all right? Gun to the back of my head. I think I would. I think I like my life, all right? I'm just saying. But like, we've reached the point where I feel like if I defended women's rights, someone would be mad at me. Someone's probably in the comments right now mad at me for defending women's rights. Watch, there's gonna be that one commenter, and we're gonna find him. We're gonna find that dude. He's gonna be like, Evan, how dare you? It's gonna suck, but like, hey man, I like women. I don't know what to tell you.
thing, Tammy. There is absolutely no evidence that young women want to start families more than young men. None. In fact, all the data says the exact opposite. According to Pew Research, 64% of women younger than 50 say they just don't want to have children. No reason, they just don't want them. Versus 50% of men who say the same. Another study by Archbridge Institute shows the same. 63% of women without children said they have no desire to have a child, while only 50% of men said the same.
I've actually like had a conversation with like multiple women under the age of 30, and genuinely I don't remember a single one of them saying that they wanted a child. And that is a little concerning when you really think about it, but realistically it's less concerning when you also realize that I don't want to have a child. But also, more interestingly and funny enough, there's already someone in the Twitch chat says that I don't have to wait because they have a problem with me defending women's rights. So realistically, like, I mean, we've already reached like the problem. This is like the inevitable breaking point of society.
Men, the most commonly cited factor was personal finance, but among women, the strongest reason not to have a child was their desire to maintain their personal independence. Basically, they don't want to give up their brunch and mimosas. They've been ass blasted with propaganda
mimosas are great,
their whole
though.
lives, telling them their lives will be ruined, their bodies will be ruined, they'll never have fun again, they'll be miserable forever if they have children. And as someone who has had a children, best decision I've ever made.
Wait, I'm sorry. She has a child? But she looks too good for a woman that had a child. That's not what I mean. Okay, hold on. What I'm saying is like I wouldn't have imagined that she had a child. You know, Shoe Head, you're great. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. We're gonna keep watching.
10/10, highly recommend, would do it again. But yes, this idea that men are the
That's
ones
good for her, though.
primarily responsible for the low birth rates is laughable. We're laughing over here.
Wait, pause, fellas. That means Shoe Head is a MILF. And honestly, aren't MILFs in right now? I'm just saying, man, we should be getting more women pregnant to their consent, obviously. Because, like, obviously, if they're producing, like, I'm just saying, Shoe Head's a MILF. And, like, if we can get more of these women out there, like, the world might be a better place. Like, if you guys are agreeing with me, you want to put it down right now? You're probably not. But, like, if you think about it, if MILFs can look this good, then we should make more MILFs. Are we on the same page again? Right? Cool.
Yeah. But honestly, it's not really women or men's fault. There are a lot of factors that play into this. But Tommy, I really gotta ask, is it men or is it you?
This is going to be the summer of canceling boys. All of my friends are attractive.
Okay.
All of my friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on.
Got it.
Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. But if all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think it might not be us. It might be you. It is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest.
Okay, she started with Los Angeles, and I see your problem already. Okay, no one in Los Angeles is a real person. Every single soul in Los Angeles belongs to the devil, and like he's just waiting to take them. Like whenever Los Angeles sinks, then all the bad people in the world will be gone. We all know it. We all know it to be true. All right, my entire family lives there. I rest my case.
Quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country.
My friends are successful. Men don't give a shit about that. They'd marry a Walmart cashier if she was nice to them.
I think
That's actually so true, bro. Like, all right, genuinely speaking, people say, oh, like, don't be into the first person that's nice to you. But that's just how it is, dog. Like, anyone shows me an ounce of kindness and I'm madly in love with them, right? Because, like, genuinely speaking, women aren't nice to me. I don't know why. They are. But, like, you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean, okay? They're nice to me now, but, like, I feel like that's only because I don't know, I'm a YouTuber. But, like, before this, not necessarily. So, just saying, you know, I feel, and I know you're watching this, you feel the same thing. But I feel like, yeah, like, if the cashier at Walmart was nice to me, I'd be like, yeah. I like her. I'm in love with her. I actually had a conversation with friends, you know, the other day, and I was talking about we should go back to a time where the internet didn't exist, and realistically, like, you know, you would just grow up in a small town. You would like only know like the 50 people that lived in that small town. You would meet a girl in school, and you know, live out your whole life being friends, and eventually you'd probably marry that girl because let's be real, she'd be the only person you knew. And, you know, you guys would fall in love with each other, which also sounds like Stockholm syndrome, but like, I don't think it is. I feel like I'm still morally correct in this regard because, you know, the ability to have options, I think, was ruined us as a society. But if we go back and we take away our options and we recognize that the people around us in our immediate circles are just good people, then honestly, the world could be a better place.
men between the ages of 20 and 30 are not ready, in most cases, for marriage, are usually not ready to be husbands and fathers.
That's a cultural issue. So, look,
No, I would actually, back to your point, I think it's a biological thing.
So let me get this straight.
Biological is crazy. She just said, no, men in general suck, which is not, you know, not inherently true. Okay, like I'm all for the argument that it's not all men. And I know that makes me sound like a nice guy for saying that. But realistically, it's just like not all guys are bad. There are men out there who do want to get married and have children and have a family and do all that stuff, right? They actually exist. The problem is I feel like a lot of people just aren't necessarily looking in the right places, and then they go and they categorize and decide, oh, all men are just terrible people, which is just not inherently true.
Men are all trash and won't commit and won't leave mommy's basement, and they're destroying the birth rates. But also young men are biologically incapable of commitment and being parents. What? But wait, there's more. She also believes women don't have to bring anything to the table.
And as a woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money. But I don't think a man...
Wait, so she wants to be a stay-at-home wife and do nothing, but has complaints if men are not doing anything. Where's the equality right now? We voted for this. I just want to point that out.
Needs to get something out of it to be a manly man, a protector, and a provider. If you think you need to get something out of it, I quite frankly don't consider you a real man.
Never before in history have women demanded so much and offered so little. So before I get deeper into this retarded, manufactured, stay-at-home son narrative, let's check the...
Okay, guys, I grew up in the 90s. Okay, I could... Listen, all right? It's a word we used. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying. All right, it's a word we used. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna keep going.
Facebook comments of this Fox News video because I am really interested to see what like the typical Fox News viewer thinks about this. If the women are anything like these two, I can hardly blame the men for staying home and not wanting to date them. Blame.
That's what I'm saying.
These two women have a combined age of 93 and they have 0 children between both of them. You both have repugnant personality types, so listening to this was like...
Wait, hold on a second. If they think that they're all that, then why don't they have men in their lives is a very, very good question.
Male birth control to me. My goodness! Boomers are ruthless! Bunch of sissies. I served 6 years, 2 years in Southeast Asia after Vietnam was over. When I was 18, rent was $450 and I could afford to get my own place. She's so spot on. Nothing screams I'm a loser run from me than a guy living at home in his parents' house with his 12-year-old boy's bedroom decor at age of 30. Thank God we raised our sons to be men, who grew up, lived on their own, found their soulmate, got married, bought a beautiful home, and started a family. I was out the door at 18, worked on the assembly line at Dodge and in the Air Force at 19, never went back home. I can't relate to this. Yes, we know you people can't relate.
We absolutely know that.
But the world has changed. Why can't you people get this through your heads? I will never let my sons stay home. I'm trying to push them out of the nest. Okay, I really gotta ask, is this an Anglo thing? Immediately kicking your kid out when they turn 18 years old? My Mediterranean mind cannot comprehend this.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Would a man
right?
leave home, leave his mother's cooking for a woman who probably can't cook? Not me, though. Personally, I can cook amazing homemade meals.
I don't need my wife to be able to cook. I'm going to be real with you, all right? If she can't cook, we're going to solve that problem with money. It's as simple as that, okay?
I'll have you know I am a great trad wife.
Unironically, she's perfect. Dude, if my girl made me dino nuggies, I'm sorry, bro. She would get the best head of her life.
Bone apple teeth.
Now, unfortunately, Tommy Lauren wasn't the only one pushing this stupid lazy young men go get a job bullshit. Mike Johnson did it referencing 29-year-old men playing video games all day. Steve Scalise did it with 35-year-old men playing video games all day. And just the other night, I saw this on my TV. Again.
A Wall Street Journal headline got our attention. The new dream job for young men, stay-at-home son. It's a phrase that's taken off since 27-year-old Brendan Leo won $59,000 on Jeopardy. And he has a master's degree in political science, but he's unemployed. Grow up, get a job, get a wife, build a family.
Just get a wife, bro. Just get a job, bro.
In this economy, telling someone to get a job is so brain dead because like there are so many people out there who are absolutely qualified and they're still not getting hired. And I don't think that a lot of people are recognizing this.
Oh, get a job? Yeah. Just get a job? Why don't I strap on my job helmet and squeeze down into a job cannon and fire off into Jobland where jobs grow on jobbies?
The term welfare queen must have fell out of fashion with Republicans because it seems even they know the approved safe demographic to go after now. Because it's very obvious what demographic they are talking about when they say young men in their basements playing video games. This just get a job lazy attitude is not surprising, but it's especially funny coming from Fox News of all places.
Wait, what does Fox News think about Twitch streamers? Do you think that they hate them? Actually, you know what? I already know the answer to that because Fox News definitely hates Hassan. And like, you know, while Hassan exists in this ethos, then I could see why. Honestly, I don't blame him completely, but like, I don't think he's a bad guy. Just, you know, some mistakes. I'm just not for it. Yeah, no, I've answered my question the more I think about this. And we're going to move past that because I don't want anyone that hates or loves Hassan, to think that I hate him. I don't. I really don't hate the guy. All right, I've met Hassan. He seems cool. He's also tall, like very tall. And that's it. I don't hate anybody is the real answer to this entire thing. We're just going to move on now. Cool.
Fox News that spends so much time yapping about immigrants taking American jobs. Fox News will talk for years about how Americans are being screwed out of the workforce. But when this issue manifests itself in Gen Z, suddenly it's a moral failure. The fact is, a lot of American jobs held by men are being lost to automation, offshoring, and yes, cheap foreign labor.
I actually do have a problem with Gen Z though. And my problem with Gen Z isn't the fact that they don't want to work. All right. I get the fact that they don't want to work. Right. It's just kind of crappy out here. My problem with Gen Z is that they don't have basic skills. Right. Like Gen Zers just don't know how to apply for a passport. To be fair, most people I feel like don't. But like, I mean, like more basic skills like reading. You know that Gen Zers can't read? Some of them can't, at least. That's crazy to me. Like, how do you not know how to read? What are we teaching these people?
Companies and billionaires would rather have cheap labor that they can essentially abuse, not pay fair wages to, just good little worker drones who won't unionize, rather than hire American workers for a living wage. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money they make. I remember when Bernie Sanders called open borders a Koch brothers conspiracy.
Open borders?
Open
borders. That's a Koch brothers proposal, which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would make a lot of the
global
global poor richer, wouldn't it?
And it'd make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state.
Where'd that guy go? A lot of these jobs being taken are jobs traditionally held by men, like construction and factory jobs, manual labor work. But it's not just manual labor jobs, it's also the tech industry and business industry, which are careers also mainly held by men. There are many examples of this, such as Microsoft recently cutting thousands of American workers while requesting 14,000 more H-1B workers this year. Some of those job positions include data scientists, which are 70% men, software developers, which are 80% men, and electronic engineers, which are 90% men, and many more like that. Another example of this was Tesla.
So we're literally just getting rid of the jobs that men hold to replace them with other men in other countries and or AI, and yet we're expecting men to still be happy when they're losing everything around them and telling them to work hard when everything is getting ripped away from them, and expecting them to be like, you know, like in a proper headspace to want to get married and have kids when they don't even have the finances to do that because their jobs are getting taken away, their houses are getting taken away, and there's just nothing for them right now. That's, you know, it seems kind of ridiculous to me. I'm not gonna lie. If I were a man, I'd be pretty upset right now. And wait, I am a man. I am. You know what? I am pretty upset right now.
Where roughly 15,000 American employees were fired in April 2024, and
That's
many
insane.
were replaced with H-1B visa holders. On Twitter, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy tried to chalk this up to these immigrants just simply being the best and the brightest. Yeah, okay. You're paying them.
Can't compete with $5 Indians. I actually have a story about this. When I worked in VFX, right? You know, I was getting paid like $45 an hour to just like rotoscope like people, and like, you know, eventually they're like, hey Evan, you don't have to do that anymore. And I was like, oh god, I'm getting fired. They're like, oh no, we're just gonna have you work on other projects. We're just paying some guys in India like $20 to do the entire thing. And I was like, you're kidding, right? Like they're gonna do all 100 shots for like $20. And they're like, yeah, like we literally just paid them $20 and they're gonna do all 100 shots that you were supposed to do. And I was like, but I could have gotten $45 an hour to do it for a week, and you're going to pay them $20. So, you know, in a way I was a little upset, but also at the same time, it meant less work for me. So I'm not really too perplexed on the action. I will also say, though, that job lasted a month less than I thought it would have. So in hindsight, I probably should have like stepped up and said I could do it. But, you know, I get it, though. I get it. If I could pay someone in India to do a job that would probably cost the company like thousands upon thousands of dollars as opposed to 20, I understand. Save money where you can. All right. I like cheap labor, too. OK, that's why the editors that I hired are American. They actually have all been American. So just, you know, just fair point for you. Also, someone emailed me about wanting to be my editor. Resend that email, I guess, if you're interested.
Less for longer hours and more work, and they're willing to deal with it in order to stay in the country. It's coercive, exploitative, and, dare I say, not very America first. When conservatives confronted Elon Musk for this last year, he told somebody, and I quote, "Take a big step back and yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." So when it comes to replacing American workers in manual labor with cheap foreign labor, it's deport. But when it comes to replacing his American workers with cheap foreign labor, it's yourself in the face. Interesting. There's also affirmative action and DEI, which are other things Fox News always pisses and shits about. But suddenly, when the conversation is about Gen Z men, the demographic of people who are victims of these things, suddenly these things just like don't exist anymore. Then it's, oh, young men are all just lazy. They just want to be in their parents' basement ordering DoorDash and playing video games.
It's a fun life.
But it's not just the brown
people. She's kind of losing right now. The brown people. The brown people? Hello? Relax.
I am not beating the allegations with this one. The brown people are not taking your jobs, okay?
Okay,
It's not
she doubled
their
down.
fault. They're just cheaper. aim upwards.
That's
it's not just
okay,
the brown people taking your jobs, it's the women too. Many of the dying industries are male-dominated, while many of the growing industries are female-dominated, and stigma around these jobs being woman jobs usually stops men from working them. Women are overwhelmingly entering and excelling in college and the workforce, and they're more flexible about job position and pay, while young men usually hold out for higher-paying, higher-position jobs that will make them the breadwinner. Because you see, despite the world progressing and the role of women changing, the role of men has not changed. Every woman is a feminist until the dinner bill comes. But what's crazy is,
you know, okay, hold on. I guess it's not every woman. All right, I've had women who are willing to pay for me, and honestly, every single time that happens, I die a little inside, because when they pay for me, it's because I actually just can't pay for myself. But understandably so, I still take it, because, hey, man, all right, you know, a free meal is a free meal at the end of the day. And yeah, I do think that there was a point that I had to this. I've completely lost track of my point. I was like texting my girl and I forgot. I'm going to be honest with you, I forgot what I was going to say. But whatever I was going to say was probably important, okay?
women might be the ones paying that dinner bill soon.
Actually, yes, there it is. Yep. So, like, because women are getting all the jobs now, realistically, I think that the role reversal is kind of okay in society, right? Like, hear me out. What if, you know how like men were getting paid more and women are getting paid less? Let's flip the script real quick. What if we start paying women more and paying men less? That way, as men, we could be, hear me out, Dom, we could be stay-at-home husbands. We take care of the kids. We do all the chores, right? We get lower end paying jobs, right? You know, they pay for things for us. I'm just saying that this sounds like a win to me. And like, if you're complaining about this, then there's something wrong with you. All right, that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
A study from the UK found women aged 22 to 29 earned about $1,000 more annually than men, completely reversing the traditional gender pay gap for this age group. In the US, a 2022 Pew Research...
Hey man, all I'm saying is, bro, I last year made like $50,000, and like 90% of my friends who are women made like over $120,000 each. In some cases, $500,000. So I'm just saying, maybe I know motherfuckers that are making 200 grand a month. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So like, realistically, why should I pay the bill when like they got the money for it? You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, all I'm saying is I take a step back. Right? You know, I become the stay-at-home husband, right? Are we all on the same page again? So like, realistically, fellas, if you're watching this, I think we now need to tell women that they need to fit the bill for us. So like, because we're the victim now, you know what I'm saying? So this might be a male loser problem, but I mean, it was inevitable, right? The balance of the scales have tipped. And so realistically, we shouldn't have to fit the bill anymore. We should have them fit the bill for us. There we go.
Research Center analysis showed that women under 30 out-earned men in many metropolitan areas, with median earnings at or above 100% of men's in cities like New York and Washington, D.C. That may not sound like a lot of money now, but it's a growing trend that has never been seen before. It's so bad that it's really starting to affect the dating world. American women have never been this resigned to staying single. They are responding to major demographic shifts, including huge and growing gender gaps in economic and educational attainment, political affiliation, and beliefs about what family should look like. More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by a growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women. In 2024, 40% of American women ages 25 to 34 had a bachelor's degree, according to Pew, compared to 37% of men. A bachelor's degree increases net lifetime earnings by an estimated $1 million. Women are doing comparatively well when it comes to education in their early years in the labor force, and men are doing comparatively badly. Men's economic struggles seem to be having the biggest effect on women without a college degree, whose marriage rates by 45 have plummeted to 52% for those born between 1930 and 1980, according to research by Cornell University. Young men without a degree are struggling so much as a group that there simply aren't enough with steady jobs and earnings for non-college women to date. Men are poor, women most affected. Modern women are no longer tied to their gender role. Birth control has freed them from the prison that is their biology, and they are making their own money, sometimes more than men. They can have it all. They can do anything. They can be anything. While at the same time, men are still expected to be the provider. And more importantly, many men still want to be the provider, but they can't. And women, though strong and independent, still want men to be the provider.
And I think that's the problem. Realistically, guys, all right, you see, hear me out, fellas, all right? Because we now make less money than women, we should make them provide for us. I feel like this is a foolproof plan. Right. And if you think otherwise, then there's something wrong with you. I personally think while I'm, a stay-at-home, husband 10 years from now, and you're out there working your butt off, listen, I'm going to be living a life. All right. Sure, I'll be cleaning the house all day, and I might be bored watching Desperate Housewives. But hey, or House Husbands, Desperate House Husbands. I might be bored, but at least I'll be happy. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me. Y'all can choose your life. I like this future. Is what I'm saying. I feel like the male loser epidemic is actually a win for men. And I think you're crazy if you think otherwise, right? There's a big problem in some jobs where the older generation is retiring and dying and the experience isn't getting passed down. That is one of the bigger issues. I mean, I mentioned that earlier where I said that, there's a lot of things that I feel like Gen Zers should know how to do, and they just cannot. And it blows my mind when I have to sit there. I have to explain how a compass worked to Gen Zers recently because they didn't know how a compass worked. And I was like, how do you not know how a compass works? It's like a basic tool that I feel like you will need in the most dire of situations. And it is helpful to know that motherfucker points north. That's all you need to know, really.
And as a woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money.
Basically, men are like, we're worried we're not making enough money. And women are like, we're worried men are not making enough money. Hello class, I am Miss On Head. I am substituting for your teacher today. She was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old boy. So today we are learning about...
What is...
the graph. This is the growth in productivity versus hourly compensation graph. And you can trace almost everything bad happening in society back to this graph. As you can see, productivity increased while compensation barely grew over the same time period. Notice they tracked very closely up until around 1972. Now,
what happened in 1972?
Around 1972, class? Well, the top marginal tax rate was reduced from 70% in 1964 to 50% by 1981. The federal minimum wage began to stagnate. Income going to the 1% rose from 9% in the 60s to 16% in 2023. CEOs also went from making 20 times more than the average worker to making 350 times more than the average worker. Anything else? Anything else happen around 1972? Yes, Jimmy, that is correct. Women joined the workforce around this time, but we don't have to get into that today. The fact is, hard work no longer guarantees success, and the will to work is tied to the fruits of your labor. And young men are fed up today because 90% of that fruit is rotten. Now, is there some truth to modern young people being lazy? Sure, I guess.
That is,
every generation
to a degree,
has lazy people. And we do basically live in late-stage mouse utopia, after all. Young people today are faced with two options. Revolution or escapism. And a lot of them are choosing escapism. Many have basically given up, but it's not like they didn't try. They tried and they found out the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, whether it's college, dating, or the job market. And in a way, many young men are kind of choosing revolution. The never before seen large shift rightward in young men is a small revolution in a way. They're saying, this isn't working for me, this sucks, I hate this, I want something different. This is also manifesting on the Democrat side in general. The young men that are still voting left are voting further left. You saw this recently in New York City, where Zohran Mamdani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, won the Democratic primary. Young men are tired of the establishment, left and right. They're tired of the system and they want to burn it down and start again. They want something that works for them because this is not working for them.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Listen, again, it's working just fine for me. I don't mind the current shift to a certain degree, now that I've thought about it, now that we've had this discussion amongst ourselves, I personally think that I just want to be a stay-at-home dad. All right, I don't know if I've convinced any of you at this stage in the video, but like, comment down below if you're convinced. I need to know.
If you wake up one morning and you find yourself in a society where 23-year-olds with 4-year college degrees and like initiative who aren't smoking weed every day, if they can't make enough to buy a car, much less a home, much less get married, much less have children, then why should you be surprised when half of them say they prefer socialism?
Huh. Fox News should hire that guy. There is an entire generation of fighting-aged men who are enraged and feel like they have nothing to live for. You should probably start caring. When they saw this airing on Fox News, they saw an angry woman nagging in their faces about how everything wrong in the world is their fault. An all too familiar thing they have been hearing for far too long. But unfortunately for Democrats, nobody...
I'm not gonna lie though, I will say that like a lot of the conversations that I have with women, they kind of blame men for a lot of the things. And then I have to pinpoint sometimes, actually you're the problem. But like, that's neither here nor there. It's just in some cases they are, and they don't realize that. And I think that that is a different issue that needs to be discussed some other time, because, you know, dare I say, women should take some accountability, but like, you know, that's just a different topic. So yeah, no, I feel like in this case though, like, yeah, I mean, honestly, it does suck for men. As a man though, I think that we should become the victims, guys. Come on. If we victimize ourselves, this is how we win. You know, and I know this is bad advice, but like, this is great advice in the long term, trust.
Under the age of 60 watches Fox News, so this is not really going to have an effect on young men whatsoever. So keep that $20 million. You might still need it, unless we get dragged into another war in the Middle East. If we do get dragged into another war in the Middle East, young men might come running back to the Democratic Party. Maybe not even a George Bush II electric boogaloo will have men coming back to the Democratic Party. Hopefully we don't find out. And as I'm editing this right now, a lot of young people, even the podcast bros, seem pretty upset about the Epstein thing, but we know Democrats won't take advantage of the situation in order to protect the Clintons, so maybe not even this will save them, but we'll see, I guess. Hold on one second. That's better. So that was that video. What do you think of the male loser epidemic?
How does she do that?
Do you agree with Tom
How does women's hair work?
Men's fault?
I'm
Leave
trying
your
to figure this
comments
out.
below. I read them
Was
all.
it a wig?
I'm
Did she
probably
dye her
reading
hair?
them right now as you type them. Wait, don't write that. No. You can't say that. No, it doesn't matter if it's with an A. If you like this video, please subscribe. And if you can, donate to me on Patreon or...
That was actually a great video, I'm not gonna lie. Genuinely speaking though, even in my freaking Twitch chat right now, there are literally people saying accountability, women are scared of that. I mean, okay, yeah, you're probably right to a certain degree, but like, again though, that's not the issue here. I do still agree with you that most women don't take accountability for a lot of things, but like, yeah, I think the bigger issue is that as men, you know, we should victimize ourselves. And like, when we victimize ourselves, then women will realize, oh crap, working kind of sucks. Being the provider kind of sucks. And then we chillax. We take the next 50 years as the stay-at-home dads. I'm just saying, this is how we win. All right, it's a terrible mindset to have, but this is how we win. And then we can solve this problem 50 years from now when we you know, take over the workforce again. And then women are gonna have to like work hard. It's gonna be an endless cycle, and it's gonna suck. Or maybe the problem is never solved, which is also a win, because then, you know, you get to be a stay-at-home dad. Like, you get to grow up knowing that your future is cooking and cleaning and working a shitty job, but like, you're home all day. I like being at home all day, so, you know, maybe I'm the worst person to ask this, right? But I'm just saying, right? Yeah, see, I'd be down to be a house husband. That's what someone in my chat just said. I'm just saying, you know, if we all think about this, right, and we all work together collectively, we could have a very, very, very bright future as horrible stay-at-home dads. That's neither here nor there. No, thank you guys for watching this YouTube video. Really appreciate y'all. Join me on Twitch where I record these, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace out. Bye, YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Know that half of what I say is always a joke, but also half serious. I would love to be a stay-at-home husband. So yeah.